Hi, my name is Brian Purtill, and I've been a lawyer since 1984 and a mediator since 1996. Currently, I'm the dean at Empire College School of Law in Santa Rosa. Talk a little bit more about that in a bit, but I want to talk about becoming an attorney and what it takes to be a good one. Pretty much outside of what you see on TV, most people don't know what we actually do. Um, Lawyers help people with the emotional and financial challenges they face every day. It's the easiest way I can put it. We take the complicated and we make it understandable for those people who are most in need of understanding the system. We work in all areas of our society. You can find lawyers working in government, legal aid, nonprofit organizations, private businesses, and small and large firms made up of a group of lawyers. You can also find them working for themselves as sole practitioners. Being a lawyer requires several things: an analytical mind, a commitment to excellence, an ability to speak to a variety of audiences, and an ethical approach to your work. But primarily, it requires the utmost loyalty to the mission at hand. That is the definition of being a professional. You do have to be willing to sacrifice your own needs on any given day for the needs of others, because your clients come first, always, because they depend on you. I think the best lawyer is someone who can look at all sides of an issue and is able to advise the client of the good and the bad of the situation and help them find the right result. In short, you should be afraid to be wrong when you're dealing with other people's affairs. And I want to just say a quick word about when you're making any career decision. You should not listen to those people who try to tell you what you can't do or what you don't qualify for or what you should or should not study. You should try to do what you feel called to do. And at the same time, keep your mind open because things change. I changed intended careers when I was in college, before I went to law school, and then even again after I graduated from law school. Nothing is permanent. So if you can see yourself in this profession, you should start now by practicing excellence in everything you do, beginning with your current schooling. Getting high grades keeps your law school options open. College courses I recommend include advanced classes in reading and composition, as well as critical thinking, statistics, psychology, government, administrative law, criminal law and process, and sociology. The most well-known path for becoming an attorney is to complete a bachelor's degree, graduate from a law school, and then pass the California bar exam. But there are other ways. In fact, still in California, one can still study law under an attorney's supervision without even going to law school. This is not a very often chosen path, but it's there. Most law schools throughout the country are full-time, 3-year programs during the day, and they are approved by the American Bar Association, or the ABA. They require that you complete a 4-year bachelor's degree and take what's called the law school admissions test, the LSAT. And they use that combination of your undergrad GPA and the LSAT score to help decide whether or not to admit you to their school. But in California, there are some other options. You can attend law school in the evening, and you can take 4 years instead of 3, and you can qualify for admission to the school based on a variety of factors. These part-time schools are approved and overseen by the California Bar Association and the California Supreme Court, and they're called CALS, C-A-L-S, California Accredited Law Schools. Empire College, where I work, is one of these. So your college grades are still important, but these schools tend to look at the whole picture in deciding whether to admit someone. Cal students are not all required to have a 4-year degree, nor must they typically achieve any particular score on the LSAT to be admitted. The Cal schools use all of that as a guide. At Empire, we do encourage people to finish their bachelor's degree, but we regularly accept students with AA degrees, and sometimes even with fewer units than that. The main difference between an ABA and a California approved school is that the CALS schools do not have full-time law professors whose only job is to teach and to publish. Their professors are local practicing attorneys and judges, and they teach in their areas of expertise. So how do you know which law school to go to? That depends on your situation. If location and money are not issues for you, and you're a high achiever in college and equally high ambitions for the practice of law, you may want to consider the top echelon schools like Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Columbia, University of Chicago, Northwestern, and there are others on the East Coast and some on the West Coast. Otherwise, pretty much just about any ABA or CALS approved school will provide you with a sound legal education. In our area, well-respected ABA schools include UC Berkeley, University of Santa Clara, UC Hastings, Golden Gate University, University of San Francisco, and McGeorge School of Law in Sacramento. Empire in Santa Rosa is the only CALS school in the coastal region north of San Francisco, but there are several others in the Bay Area and Sacramento area too. So what's it cost? It's expensive. Law school expense varies. Some ABA schools recently are charging as much as $50,000 to $100,000 per year for their programs. CALS schools are typically much more affordable. For example, Empire's tuition in Santa Rosa is about $70,000 to $80,000 for the entire 4 years. And there are usually some scholarships and some financial aid programs to help pay for some or all of that, depending on what school you choose. But you should know law school is a different kind of education. It's not like college. Just like in the practice of law, you'll be asked in law school to learn a large volume of law and apply it to new situations. Simply memorizing a ton of law, it's not enough. It is time-consuming, law school, but it's not impossible, and it can be really exciting if you take to it. So why should you go to all this trouble and all this expense? Because you can make a difference, not just in your own life, but in the lives of other people around you. You can also make a better living than you are doing now, if that's your goal. You can give voice to the underrepresented of our society. You can be of public service. You can volunteer for local nonprofits on your off time. There's a number of things you can do as a lawyer that you may not be able to do if you want. So if you see yourself working for the public or for the poor or for civil rights or for business and financial interests, or you want a career in politics to create new laws to make this world a better place, being an attorney provides those options and more. And a law degree does provide a bit of job security. Some people have called the legal profession the recession-proof job. I don't know about that for all types of law, but I'm still receiving as dean requests from law firms and local governmental entities about job openings they have and ask us to post them for our new graduates and our recent alumni. So at least locally in Sonoma County, I've not heard of recent graduates having trouble finding a job, and the current lawyers that I know, they're still pretty busy. So I do want to say a quick word about being dean. What I do now is I recruit, admit, teach, and counsel students to become competent, ethical, professional attorneys. That's my only goal. I call them all officers of the court in training, so I have to see them that way. My interaction with staff and superiors is also kind of an ongoing exercise in listening and learning and collaborating. I treated my clients in my mediation practice this very same way. I had high expectations of everyone, and I stayed true to my own sense of obligation and professionalism. I don't know much about the road to becoming a dean in some of these other schools and the full-time ABA schools, but I think my road to being dean here in Santa Rosa was paved primarily by my work as a lawyer, in small part by my work as a mediator, but maybe more importantly, by a simple rule I've tried to follow. If you keep both your name and your word intact throughout your life, everything will be fine and options will open up for you. So if you think you can do that, practice of law just be just what you're looking for. Thanks.